Morning. I pressed the wrong button and I opened up the window and the sun is ferocious. Anyway, I'm not quite sure what day it is, but I know I've now done 2 shows and it's the pay-per-view week. Sort of looking forward to this pay-per-view week, so I don't have a show to prepare for. So it's really just sunbathing and drinking. No, that's not true. I've got a few days work. I've got some bits and pieces to do, but the pressure is now off. It is a sort of normal morning. It's about 7 o'clock. I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go to the gym. After that, some breakfast, I think. Yeah, some breakfast. Another test, and we can get on with the day.
Could we just try the nasal?
No, I don't want to try the nasal. No, we're 100% good with the throats. Hello, this is a bit of a note to self, a bit of a diary entry if you like. So it's 5:15. At 7 o'clock today, I am interviewing Khabib Nurmagomedov for the pre-show for the live broadcast. Just before he walks out, some words will come from him, and there's a few other production elements. So this goes into the live production, not something that you're going to see me in, hear me in, or anything like that. And after the last 2 weeks and the sheer workload, and obviously, being front and center in terms of, what I'm doing, commentary and hosting and what have you, finding it really hard to be motivated to even do the questions. It's really bizarre. That's where I struggled when I was trying to do 2 separate jobs. It took a great deal of discipline and sort of had to force myself to go and do the other job when I'd just come off of doing a UFC show, because of the amount of effort, the amount of work, the amount of positive feedback that you get personally, your sense of achievement and being part of something great. I was on building sites, all right, it's the family business, but I didn't really derive a great deal of satisfaction from designing a room full of lights, finally getting it working. And even when you start adding beautiful lighting control, this, that, and the other, it's just not the same. So yeah, just thought I'd add this. This is where wearing many hats sometimes becomes a little bit more complicated. I'll get those questions done. I'm just saying it's kind of having to force myself to do it. And I remember when I would do some of these things for the first time, I'd be nervous about doing them and I'd spend lots of time getting it right. But now it's like a few hours away and I'm putting those questions together because I know what they want. Although, sitting down with some of these big stars, always, you never know which way it's gonna go. I just thought I'd say that. Some people might recognize that. And also for people that are doing a job right now that just pays the bills and they have one eye on a different career that they're perhaps having a little bit of a foothold in, and they might transition over to that. It's difficult sometimes mentally, and you're certainly not alone in that. And you have to do what you have to do to pay the bills, to be a team player, to earn your stripes, to gain respect. And you just have to take the ups with the downs, the good with the bad, the easy with the hard, and focus on the one overriding goal and hope that you can connect the dots in such a way that you figure that it's all worthwhile doing, because that pathway always leads in that same direction. Now I better go and fix my hair and have a shower and go and do some interviews. All right, ciao. Here's my guy right here every morning with the goods. Okay, so today is the day where I get involved in all the interviews. What you see here is a lineup of all of the fight kits, which they will be posing in. What have we got here? We've got a photo. That's where the magic happens, right there. We've got lovely big rooms. Oh, starry night. There's Deirdre, morning. This is the room that I will be in. One there. Day 19. So I'm sort of now on downtime mode, and I've just got a couple of things to do. This week I was interviewing fighters, as you saw, and did a couple of shows. Did the UFC live shows, or live from Fight Island shows, I should say. Tomorrow I've got my final thing with Dan doing an Inside the Octagon extra. I'm always kind of torn about social media and what to put out there. I've had meetings with people that would help sort of guide my career, people to talk about management and representation and things like that. And everyone bangs on about social media numbers. It's all about the numbers. That's the currency nowadays, frustratingly. And it really is a frustration, because as much as I'm doing this, you know, social media is a tricky minefield of a place. It's not always kind to people. It's distracting from life. I don't think it gives the connections that are natural to us. And we sort of default to that now just because it's easy. And the other big thing is, obviously, it is life through a lens. And I've unfortunately had like a pretty tough day, because I put out some stuff on social media over the last couple of days, or this week, where I've been doing more fun things. And truth be told, I've had 2 days where I've had time, and not even full days, by the way. I've had 2 days where I've had time to do something other than just study. So that means out of the 19, 17 of those have been in this very room, beautiful room, been in this very room, not the bath. Although I have done some stuff in the bath. I watched fights in the bath. You know, everyone thinks that because you put out a couple of cool photos or you're in a certain location, that it's all a bed of roses. So without getting into the real details of it, you know, I'm pretty upset, if I'm honest. These things can get to me. And just be careful what you think of when you're watching people's social medias, because, you know, I was thinking, oh, there's going to be all these opportunities for me to do cool things here on Fight Island, you know, content for you guys to help you understand what goes on Fight Week, blah, blah. I sit in front of a computer for God knows how many hours a day, writing scripts, watching some fights, watching a bunch of interviews. It's just like rinse, repeat the whole time, rush, rush, rush. Meetings, interviews. And I don't always feel comfortable throwing a camera up in a meeting room, particularly when fighters are talking tic-tacs and strategy, just because I think that they'll then hold back if they see you pointing a camera at them, because they never know where it's going to go, and I know that I wouldn't like it. So as much as I had some intentions every now and then of doing that, I just can't, I'm afraid. So the behind the scenes will always be a little bit restricted just because of my integrity to what I'm doing. And also, I just don't have the mindset to always turn my phone on myself or the room and start recording again, just because I'm a bit bored of people doing that to me. And then you're always in fear of a microphone being on or a camera catching you, saying something that could be pulled the wrong way or held against you or whatever it might be. Just call me paranoid, but listen, we've all heard the stories. And I just don't like to offend people generally. Not my personality type. So then when you don't put out anything like that, and then you just put out, you know, a couple of shots on the beach around the pool, it gets massively pulled out of context. So just, yeah, be careful what you really believe to be the truth. So yes, that's just me winding down at the end of the day in some bubbles. Carefully placed just in case his camera was started to fall over. Yeah, final couple of days here. I've managed the being away from family thing pretty well emotionally this time. Last time I was here, I was blubbering on the last couple of days, couldn't hold it together whenever I saw my daughter. And this time she's been even more vocal about wanting cuddles, wanting to kiss and visibly, you know, crying and stuff. But when I go back and come out of quarantine after 2 weeks, I've got nothing. And I need to have a conversation with the UFC about plans for next year, because what do you do? What am I going to do? This is a crazy time, and I've been so lucky to get to this point where I've been able to work a few times this year. I want to work, you know, I enjoy and love what I do, and now I just see I've got to go home and try and figure it out, I guess. As much as I try and live by the philosophy, you know, don't worry about the things that you can't control. At what point can you not control something? There must be something you can do, but then they become very significant sacrifices sometimes. And it has a knock-on effect when you're a family man. So, oh man. Enjoy Fight Island while it's here. I've learned my lesson from posting on social media when I'm having a down day. And I'm having another down day tomorrow, but I'll be silent on it. This was an extended Johnny G's from the bathtub.